Hey, welcome back to Let's Talk Marriage.
Where we speak marriage through transparency. What's up, everybody?
Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, all the above.
Can you all hear us? Give me some in my ear. Turn me up in my head, sis. Turn me up in my head, sis, DJ. So I want to know if you guys can hear us because last week we had some audio issues. And as we continue to grow, we are learning more and more each day on how to make sure that we give you guys the best quality. So it was my fault. It was a user error. It was me. So you could say amen. So I touched all the knobs, and because I touched all the knobs, what happened was that I turned everything down, which in turn made my husband very, 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 very low. But thank you so very much in the comments that everything is clear and great. So thank you so much for that. But I still need you to give me some volume in my ear here. The other one. There we go. There we go. There we go. So with that being said, we have a treat for you guys today. Who do we have on today, babe?
Oh, we have Raymond Carvel Sr.
Absolutely, Pastor.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pastor Raymond Carvel Sr.
You better. That's right. Put some respect on his name. So. You're not gonna do me like this today.
Oh yeah, I gotta catch up.
We gotta catch up.
Yeah, you hear me now.
Okay. So I know you guys see us with these shirts, although it's not Father's Day anymore. Move your mic, babe, so they can see your shirt.
It's really not about Father's Day. It's about.
I know, but I wanted you guys to see fathers are not toxic. They are essential shirts that we have. So this is Minister Lionel Nelson's shirts. These are one of the shirts that he has, and we wanted to support him today to let him know we are wearing your shirt.
Yes.
So thank you for always supporting us. So we want to support you back and put your shirt on, and so that you guys can see.
Yes.
All right. So with that being said, we have a special treat for you guys. We want to bring this on today because. So Raymond Carvel is actually your uncle. We call him Uncle Raymond. So you guys heard me get ready to say Uncle Raymond is running for Miami Gardens, seat number 2. So if you guys are in the Miami Gardens area, he's going to explain which areas are in the area that you guys can vote. So we're going to bring him on. But before we do that, I want you guys to see his flyer. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that awesome? So he's both, of course, a senior pastor at a Baptist church, and he is now, he's the city councilman. Now, Uncle Raymond used to do a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of things.
A lot of things.
A lot.
I think he still works for the Secret
He
Service.
have a lot of hat on his head.
He does, but I think he's
So
still.
when you go to his house, you see them with hats all across.
It's hats everywhere.
All kind of hats.
Yeah, and I think he got a secret stash. He just don't want to tell us who he really is.
You know, he made me out of that guy. He said, "I have a special skill."
See, he's that guy that has the special skill. So if I get lost or if anything happens, y'all call Uncle Raymond. Don't call my husband. Call Uncle Raymond. Come get me. Well, we're gonna bring Uncle Raymond on today, and we're gonna let him explain himself. So I won't botch it up too much.
Yes.
Yay, Uncle Raymond!
Hey, good evening, everybody.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing awesome. Hey, it's been a great week, and today's the beginning of a new week, so it's awesome.
Absolutely. We are so glad that you decided to come back on today and grace us with your presence.
Yes.
Well, the thing is, every opportunity I get, I'm always willing to come and I enjoy your program, your show that you do every Sunday, being a blessing to other individuals. So it's wonderful to see how God using both of you, for His glory.
Oh, thank you so very much. We thank you for always coming on and giving us those amazing accolades. We really appreciate that.
We try this.
Yes, we do. But we also want to let everybody know, if you have any questions, Uncle Raymond is willing to answer. Well, he's our uncle. You guys call him Mr. Carvel or Pastor Carvel. Put some respect on the name. But you guys can call in at 754-303-9976. Now, I know we're only right now streaming from YouTube, but later you will be able to listen to this podcast on Spotify. Where else, baby? iHeartRadio, iTunes,
Amazon Podcast,
Google
Podcast,
and
Anchor.
And Anchor is hosting the whole thing, but you can also find us on Reddit.
Yes.
So with all that being said, we're going to let Uncle Raymond just kind of introduce himself again. He is, a regular on the show. Like, you guys know who he is. You know the voice. So welcome back, Uncle Raymond. Thank you so much for coming on again.
Well, since last time I was on, I thank God that my oldest daughter, Dr. Genevieve Lenise Carvel Harris, decided to nominate me for an honorary doctorate. So they had the ceremony, and it was awesome. And for some of us, we saw the pictures. And today at our church, we had a graduate ceremony. So I thank God for receiving the honorary doctorate in Christian education. And that is so fitting because I love to teach. I love to motivate individuals. So when they had received my accolade, they decided, which honorary doctorate to give. And so it was in Christian education. So I just wanted to let everybody know that God always prepare you for the journey that He's going to put you on. And nothing is by coincidence. And that's why today, I'm focusing 200%, not just on my family, not just on my security business, but also to continue to make sure Miami Garden residents understand that they have someone who is willing to put the energy to make sure that their voice are being heard. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. To be a public servant, you have to learn to put yourself, in second place and let God use you for whatever it is that He ordained you to do. And my ordination that I received from God is to be a public servant. And I just appreciate the opportunity to not just serve the city for over 30 years active and 6 years in the reserve, and not just being married to my wife for over 39 years, but to have raised 3 wonderful children and grown children at that. So that's a blessing. And what I love about it is that we all work together as a family. Even in my campaign, it's not just um, Genevieve, Renetta, and Raymond, but it's Taisha and Elias, are hard at work, making sure that it's a family concern that all of us put our efforts together. And that's why we're here tonight to promote my candidacy for Miami Garden Residential Council seat number 2. And I praise God that August the 23rd, we will be celebrating not just 19 years of ministry, but also my opportunity to be called Councilman Raymond Carville for seat number 2. So I look forward to working with the community. I look forward to my continuous service. And my platform is simple. It's there for everybody to read. But the most important thing is let's work together. That's what makes every good team. The Warriors did not win on their own, even when they had counted them out. When early in the season, nobody thought that Golden State was going to not even enter the playoff. They didn't even inspire them even getting that far. But those individuals from Golden State Warriors believe in themselves, and that's a key component. You have to believe on the mission that you have before you. And when people say what you cannot do, it is your job to prove them wrong. It's your job to say, I can do all things through Christ Jesus that strengthens me. If you're a Christian or not, you can still say, I can do all things, because if God placed the will in your spirit, who's there to tell you what you cannot do? So that's what motivates me. I love when people tell me what you cannot do. I love when people tell me that you never amount to nothing. That's when I shine, because that's when I put myself on the side and I allow God, his power, his strength takes over. And before you know it, I'm victorious. So,
Let your haters be your motivators.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
of course. I mean, I've always, everybody have their fuel. Everybody have what motivates them. Mine is tell me what I cannot do and watch me.
I know that's right. So tell us a little bit about seat number 2. What does what does that entail for the people in the city of Miami Gardens?
Well, seat number 2 is unique location. It covers from County Line Road, which is 215th Street, from Northwest 27th Avenue. It goes from 27th Avenue from County Line Road to 199th Street, which means on the west side of the turnpike, it covers the Stadium Hotel. It covers Calder Racetrack, Lake Lucerne, that whole community, and it also covers the stadium. So all of that is part of seat number 2. And then the further east you go from County Line Road, then you have all those community on the east side of the turnpike, the Florida Turnpike, from the County Line Road. All those private communities, they're gated communities that's on that side. All of that falls under my seat. It goes all the way to Northeast Second Avenue, and from Second Avenue you have all the way to 199. Then from 199, because of the Snake Creek Road, you cannot go straight down. So you merge westward to Miami Avenue, and you go straight to 183rd Street. So we cover that every piece of property that's on the east side of the turnpike from County Line Road. From County Line Road down is my area. And so we have a vast multicultural community. We have Jamaicans, Haitians, you have over, Panamanians, you name it, Cubanos. All of us are incorporated in seat number 2, but the community is so vast and so multicultural. Everybody have their own needs, and the most important thing that I'm hearing from the community is that our voice are not being heard, and that's what motivates me to be the voice for the voiceless.
So
And
what is it that they can, or the city of Miami Gardens, what can they expect from you? What type of change will you be bringing in to the city? Because I mean, you've been all over the news. What a couple of months ago when the racing, people came in, you were very vocal about what was going on in the city and the things that were going on there. What is it that you would be bringing in uh, uh, to help the city of Miami Gardens?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned about the race that was coming on. What happened was the incumbent that's currently in seat number 2, he had came to Lake Lucerne Community Crime Group, and I was present for that meeting because I'm the president for Coconut Cay Hanover, so I attend all of the crime group meetings. And that community in Lake Lucerne, because they're right across the street from the stadium, they were adamant about we do not want the noise, we do not want the toxic in our community. And because he represents seat number 2, his response to our concern was that he was going to vote against Formula One. So once he had mentioned that he was going to vote against Formula One, yes, no one is stupid. No one, everyone knows how to count. It's 7 individuals that sit on the dais. So even if you are the only one that vote against it, it will still pass 6-1. But you find 2 council seat rep, seat number 1 and seat number 3, which is not affected by Formula One. Those 2 seats voted against the Formula One, and then we were counting on our representative to vote against Formula One. After giving us his word that he was not going to vote for it, he turned around and voted for it. So it passed 5-2. Now, it still would have passed if he had voted against it, would have passed 4-3. But the point was, at least he would have shown us that our voice count, our voice represent something. But the fact that he came and he stated that he was not going to do it, and why did I bring that up? I bring it up because the day before the vote, Raymond Carville Sr. wrote an email to all 7 of those individuals that would be voting, the mayor included, the mayor, and you have seat number 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 2 at large seat 5 and 6. I wrote a letter to all of them, email letter, stating that because Lake Lucerne does not want Formula One in our community, we're already overwhelmed with traffic congestion, with not being able to go through 199th Street freely from Northwest 14th Court to 27th Avenue. If you vote for Formula One, not only that we're going to try to recall all of you, but I, Raymond Carville, is going to come to City Hall on that Thursday and file to run against my council seat holder that told us that he was not going to vote for it. And so after he voted for it, I turned around that Thursday morning at 10 o'clock in the morning. I went straight to the City Hall of Miami Gardens. I went to the clerk's office and I filed my paperwork to run against him. And from that moment on, everybody thought that I was bluffing, that, Ray Carver is doing what everybody else does, talk a whole bunch of hot air, cannot produce. But I went and I filed, and then we did the recall. And I promise you, we were 500 votes short of recalling him. So again, it shows that our community are fed up. We are against people lying to us. We're against people not being transparent. And all he had to do was, like most people, agree with your community. Instead, he came back months later, whenever the opportunity came, and his response was, it was going to pass anyway, so I get something for you all. I got some money out of the deal. And guess what he got us? So he said, $500,000 a year every time they're Formula One. And just in case a lot of people are listening, Miami Garden have given Hard Rock or the stadium $500,000 tax write-off every year. So how is it beneficial to the citizens where they're already getting $500,000 tax write-off every year? So to me, that was a slap in our face. They are prostituting our community by saying, well, since we already know we're going to get $500,000 tax write-off, so why not give them $500,000 every year the event comes? That's not showing that you care about our community. It's not showing that you care about the people that you're supposed to be working with. No, that's my reason. That's the motivating factor for us to come. So if I can get all 1,000 individuals that signed that petition to recall him, to go back and decide to let their voice be heard and say, we're the 1,000 that signed that petition, we're going to make sure that we encourage another 1,500 people to sign. So that way, they normally get about 4,000 vote altogether for that race. That over 2,500 come Ray Carville's way, and I believe it's possible. I believe if everybody do their due diligence, and everybody inform their community that our voice must be heard, and to be heard, we have to make sure that everybody comes out and vote, and we got to send a clear message to our current incumbent that we are not happy with the fact that he prostituted our district for the dollar.
Now, let me ask you this, because you in the neighborhood, it is comprised mostly of people of how can I say it being respectful?
International?
No, well, they're international, but they're a lot older.
Right, elder,
So those are the people that would be mostly affected by it. So, what does the councilman, or what would you do to help the younger people that are coming up and that are getting into politics and that want to know more about this and what they could do and how is it affecting them?
Yeah.
Because they don't, they're going to the games. They like the drama and they like the foolishness. So, what do you say, to them, because they're comprised of that neighborhood as well?
Well, don't get me wrong. Football, I love football. I love tennis. I love the events, and I even have gone to races in Daytona. Formula. It's not Formula race, but Daytona 500, as they call it. It's just the fact of in a better community like we have, where people have asthma problem, people have different allergies, people have different concerns, and when you have a multitude of traffic coming in and out, it impedes. God, I'm glad that we didn't have no of our residents that needed a rescue truck to come through, because I even have video to show where they blocked traffic during the time of Formula One, during that Friday, that Saturday, that Sunday. No one could move if you were in 441 from the Golden Glades all the way down to 215th Street. That whole 441 was congested bumper to bumper. So yes, for those that are coming for those events, traffic wasn't an issue for them. And for people that's come to the football, traffic is no issue because they have areas provided for them to park, freely. But to go back to your question, what would I educate the young people that want to run for office is that never lose sight of why you are in the race. You are there to be a public servant. You are there to be the voice for the community. You are there to be the voice of the people that elected you into the position that you are in. So therefore, if you don't do nothing else, be due diligent to represent their requests. If you're talking about, again, you go back to the $500,000. If you take that $500,000 and you divide it into 4 residential communities, or say I give it to Miami Garden, those of us that are really affected, like Lake Lucerne, people that are affected like Andover, Coconut Cay, those people, the few dollars that comes, they don't even see it, because at the Hard Rock, what people are not mindful of, every piece of event that is held there, Miami Garden does not really receive no tax from it, because Miami-Dade received tax. That was the agreement. But the city of Miami Garden does not receive not even 1 penny of tax coming from that stadium because of the agreement that they have. So therefore, again, who's benefiting from it? And those of us who are going to the game, you still got to pay $25 parking. You still got to pay for everything, but all the money stays inside the stadium. It does not benefit us residents. So again, how do we benefit from it? If they wanted to, the elected official, you could change the ordinance. The ordinance was adopted prior to having Formula One, prior to having the Wimbledon tennis, all the stuff. The same, it was just a football facility. So as you add different event to it, then you must go back and modify the ordinance or the charter to say, now that we agreed not to charge you nothing for the football game, but not for all new events that's coming. All new events, Miami Gardens should receive some type of compensation, because I, for one, I pay tax to Miami-Dade, I pay tax to Miami Garden, and also North Miami Beach. When it comes to my water, when it comes to the light, I pay 3 taxes. So if the citizens have to pay all those taxes, why not a facility that have made $1 billion from the Formula One, that's continue to make money, especially
so,
now.
I have a question. I got a question. I hear you on that. So you all have been living over there for years. And we have the young people, and then we have the older generation as well, right?
Correct.
There were ways that the community could have made money. There are people
Right.
that sell barbecue. There are people that sell T-shirts. We knew that this was coming. Was there any way that the people in the community could have benefited from the people that were coming in? Now, I don't know anything about the city of Miami Gardens. I don't live there. But once I saw because it was blocked off. We have to go that way to either get to your house or get to my grandmother's. We have to pass that way to get into Miami, right?
Right.
Now, if there's anything happening big out here in the Sunrise area, we're trying our darndest to make sure that we can capitalize off the people that are coming in from out of town. Why or how can the people profit from these people coming in from different states?
Well, the only individual, to be realistic with you, the only individual that claimed to have made few dollars were people that allowed vehicles that did not want to go park as far as to the different sites that they have, and
So they made $20 for parking.
they made $20 or $30 parking. But the thing to me was that if you live in Miami Garden like I have been for over 30 years, everybody is anal about their grass. They do not want, not even an animal to do nothing on their grass than to speak about tire marks going on their grass. So they happen to find 1 or 2 individuals that say, well, my daughter made some money parking cars. To me, that's an insult. You're going to damage your grass, your lawn, for a few dollars. And furthermore, to answer the other part of the question about selling barbecue and different things like that, Hard Rock, I take my hat off to them. They are a great business entity. They understand the concept of having everything on the property. So there was no, and the ordinance that Miami Garden have would not allow you to sell barbecue alongside the road without a permit. So therefore,
they have not gotten a permit. Like you get a permit to sell shirts.
Right.
I mean, all this stuff, we could have capitalized off of this.
Right, but to get a permit, that's another thing that, if you look at my platform, is to help small businesses to not only to stay afloat, but to excel. The permit alone, a lot of small businesses in Miami Garden have closed down because they overcharged them so many fees. But if you are trying to rip off our community by charging a lot of fees, why are you not changing the ordinance or the charter to rectify where the Hard Rock can now give you some of the revenues that they are making off our back?
Now, being that you're going into this particular seat, are you able to make this type of change?
Or fight for it.
Not by myself. I see the key thing. If you look at the platform, one thing I mentioned about which a lot of doors I've knocked on, the people have been complaining about the red light camera. And the key component about the red light camera is that my desire is to come and to get other council board members on board to reverse the red light camera policy. Every other city have already gotten rid of it. City of Miami, Aventura, you name it, they all have canceled the red light camera, but Miami Garden and Opelika. Those are the only two cities that are still making money off our citizens,
That's why I go slow in your city.
charging them $175
That's right.
for a red light camera ticket. And if you do not pay on time, you can go up to $200. And most people that's getting them are people that did not come to a complete stop before the solid white line. And you cross it, they're gonna find you. And that's not working with the community. But as a voice, one thing I had mentioned in church today, and I'm gonna mention it to everyone. One person could put 1,000 to flight. That's what the word of God said.
Mhm.
Two could put 10,000 flight. So I'm not gonna say that I cannot make a difference by coming in. I promise you, with my 16 years of being at Miami City Hall, 16 years, not 16 days, 16 years, 16 years where I was in charge of security for under Mayor Manny Diaz, Tomas Regalado, and I provide security protection for all of the elected officials. Every key meeting that they have, your truly was there. So for 16 years, God have been equipping me. Well, more than that because I've retired 6 years in the making. So you're looking at over 22 years, God have been equipping me on how to utilize what I've learned from the city of Miami to come to our community of Miami Garden to make our city great. So I'm not coming as a novice, not having no type of experience, no type of how to make things happen. I'm coming in bringing wealth of wisdom and understanding and experience that I know will benefit our residents. So, but how we do it? And for the benefit of people that might be tuning in, believe in me, I learned from Arthur Till how to pack a council board meeting, how to make sure that it's not just Ray Carvel that's getting ready to vote, but you're going to look at the audience and you're going to see people reflecting my same concern. So when I open my mouth and say A, B, C, D, I'm going to look in the audience and say, who all are here for this item? And I promise you, every good council board member, every commissioner knows how to engage the community. And you're truly, Ray Carvel, I've had 16 years of experience how to make that happen. And I promise you, residential seat number 2 and the rest of our community will start benefiting from the harvest that other entities are benefiting from.
I like that. So listen, those of you who are just tuning in, you guys can also call in at 754-303-9976. If you are in the city of Miami Gardens and you have a question for Councilman Raymond Carvel Sr., please make sure that you just give us a call, or you can put a comment on the side and we'll share your comment on the screen here. So make sure that you're also commenting, liking, and sharing. Make sure that you're sharing onto your social platforms as well, because even though this may not be for you, it could benefit someone else. Always remember that this could benefit someone else. Babe, do you have any questions?
Well, I just thought came to mind, we've been discussing about the stadium and everything else, but, as a Floridian or a person that may live in Miami Garden area and District Number 2, that's fine that you're fighting to get the Formula One to do, or get the stadium to do what they're supposed to do, but what else can I benefit by voting you into office? What beneficiary are you going to benefit me and my kids, me and my wife, that it will help the community as well?
Oh,
Well,
he had his glasses on.
yeah, I did my glasses on because I'm going to look at my platform, and part of my response is going to be by reading this platform. My political platform is public safety, increasing police patrol and visibility, citizen crime watch, and more street lights. And number two, red light camera removal. Work with other council members to phase out the red light cameras. Number three, transform Miami Garden economic for working people by creating good paying jobs and pathway to middle class. And number four, stopping unnecessary spending of taxpayers' money. Again,
Right.
stopping unnecessary spending of taxpayers' money.
Absolutely.
So what program can you put in place for me and my family that's struggling to pay the bills or struggling to
Meat ends
ends
meat.
meet
Uh-huh.
or or just recreation for my daughter or my son that need an extra activity other than being on the streets, being a fool.
Because Miami Gardens have a very high crime rate too. So, I know you said crime watch and things like that. Like, how would you implement even the crime watch and things like that? So that's on your list.
Yeah, but no, not just on my list. Remember, I mentioned earlier that we have created an umbrella group, which is a total of 10 different neighborhoods that had created a crime group. And I was the first president for that umbrella group. And what that does is it helps all of us to come together with our inputs, with our ideas. Now, back to Elliot's question. In 2016, when I first ran for seat number 5, which is at large, one of my platform was to create a program called PAL, Police Athletic League.
You
And
created that?
was that
You created the police athletic league?
under my command for the city of Miami, we were very successful with the Police Athletic League. As a matter of fact, everybody, other cities are following the model of the city of Miami with the PAL program. And
Oh.
what the PAL program does for the city of Miami, we utilize police officers. Like, for example, under my command, I had 50 police officers and another 50 civilian employees that works for the PAL program. The keyword, PAL program. And the officers we use called the NIOs, Neighborhood Resource Officers. So what they did was, beside being there active for the community, when the schools, we targeted all the schools in the area. For example, all the schools that was in the area of every park. We made sure that the police officers went to those principal, talked to the teachers to find out any kids that having difficulty, a C or below grade average, even the A's and B's, we go after them, but our focus is the C's and below. So what we do is we go after those kids and we recruit them for the PAL program. How do we recruit them? We, after school, instead of them going home, instead of them catching the bus home or walk home, we provided a van from the police department and we pick them up from the schools. We take them to the parks that's close to their area. And we make sure, first thing is we make sure that they do their homework. After their homework is complete, if they don't have the homework, they start playing games. And seasonal, we have different events from football, basketball, whatever season that we are in. Those kids are engaged into that cheerleader programs, track and field, karate. All those kids, we provide that for them until 6 p.m. 6 p.m., by that time, we figured the parents should be home. We, in turn, take those kids home. We don't say, okay, have a nice day. No, we drop those kids off to their parents. And sometimes the parents will even come to the practice, where they're at. And of course, the kids will leave with their parents. So that's how we help to get our kids off the street, because we provide a way for them. Now, I did not win in 2016, but guess what? Miami got the councilman that was there, he took that idea, he implemented the PAL program. So now if you go into Miami Garden Police Department, you'll see that they have a PAL program. It has not fully operated the way it should, because why? They do not have the manpower. You need the manpower to make the PAL program successful, meaning police officers. It's a twofold. You're at the park with the kids. The police officer job is to make sure that nobody come to interrupt the events, the safety of the kids are there, and the civilian job is to train those kids, football, whatever it is. We provide that. We provide meals for those kids while they are under our care.
Mhm.
So again, those are ways to alleviate the parents from not having to worry about, well, I have to be home at a certain time because otherwise my child gonna be out on his or her own. And another thing that I came up with called the CRA, Community Redevelopment Agency. Miami Garden have always had that on paper, the keyword on paper. When I came in 2016, during my debate, they say, oh, but we haven't. I said, well, what is it that you are doing? All they were doing was taking the federal government money, diverting it other ways, and every now and then they will find a senior citizen that need a roof problem, they'll fix the roof. That is not what the CRA is about. CRA is Community Redevelopment Agency, man. Our job is to help all the small businesses that need to stay afloat. If they need a computer, if they need to hire more employees, they can get up to $10,000 a year from the CRA to help their business stay afloat. That's what the CRA does. And where does the money come from? Grants. Where does the money come from? Federal government. Everything that I'm talking about is stuff that does not come out of the city budget, but you have individuals that know how to write grants. And those people that know how to write grants, you pay them a salary, and I promise you, if you pay them a salary, you will get over $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 coming into your program that you have established without having to touch monies from the city. And the city will benefit from, because those officers and those civilian employees that's working, they get paid from the grants.
Yeah.
So as a resident, how do I inquire into that information on how can I receive the benefits and who I need to speak to? Because, sometimes you go to these places and you try to speak to somebody about certain things, and what happens is they kind of block you because of your ethnic background, ethnicity background, or because I may not look a part, or
Yeah.
I don't look like I have the knowledge of that, of what I'm trying to ask for. So who do I need to speak to, or how do I go about getting that?
Now, the first thing is Miami Garden, once I'm in office, I promise you, I know how to make things happen, because CRA is not a little office somewhere. CRA is literally an independent group of individuals that's getting paid by the city. And what the CRA does is they have their own board member. Who are the board members for the CRA? The elected official. So you have 6 council board members and the mayor. The council board members are the one that run the CRA, not the mayor. The mayor don't have no input on that, because you are dealing with all those little residential areas. So what you do is, those individual monies that's coming in, they go after all the mom and pop businesses. The only requirement is, before you can get a penny from the CRA, you must promise that you're going to hire at least one individual from within the community, on your job. So for example, if I need my new roof for my company that I have, and they say, okay, we're going to give you $50,000. But how many employees do you have that work for your company? Well, that lives in Miami Garden. I don't. Well, if you want our money, you're going to have to hire at least 1 or 2 that reflect from our community. So again, the council board members, right now, they play the dumb part. They play the I don't know part. Everything is, well, we don't have this, we don't have that. But I promise you, I'm not just coming in with a lot of talk. I'm coming with a lot of experience, a lot of ways to make things happen. Because one thing that I've learned, there's 7 individuals that have helped create a CRA, and they're still young. They still have the knowledge. Hire them, and they will come in. They'll be motivated to get off their couch, and they will come in and help you to be a fertile CRA. Everybody else have it. North Miami have it. North Miami Beach have it. City of Miami have it. So what about Miami Garden?
Yeah, they forgot about you guys over there.
We need to show that we're not just talking, but we are here to implement things. And I'm the type of person, like I mentioned, everybody knows me that whatever I put in my hand, I make it work. I make it work because I'm a worker. I've been knocking on doors, hearing people concerned, and I tell them, yes, I'm one voice, but I'm a powerful voice with your help. The key word, with your help.
Yeah.
So even if you cannot come to the council board meeting, you can be on Zoom because they're on Zoom. You can, while the commission is going on, you can chat. You can put your comments. You know, instead of you worrying about 2 minutes of not getting a response, now you don't get a response from them. You come to my office and say, what's going on? You have a staff. We need result.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How can, well, right now we're still in the voting area, correct?
Well, right now we're in the talking mode because we don't even have our punch number yet. By mid-July, we're supposed to get a punch number. And after they issue the punch number, that's when they will send out the absentee ballot. So you're looking at mid-July, like the second week of July, going to the third week of July. That's when the residents from all of Miami Garden will start receiving their absentee ballot, which is it's about 45 days, in other words. 45 days before the election, the citizens start receiving the absentee ballot. And they have until August the 23rd is the last day that instead of mailing your absentee ballot at the precincts, they provide a box where you drop in your absentee ballot. You can actually walk up and drop in your absentee ballot. Now, early voting, first is the absentee ballot. Early voting starts on August the 13th, 2 weeks before the election is early voting. So August the 13th through August the 21st, you can go to any library. You can go to, mostly libraries. All the libraries or government buildings, like for City of Miami, if you work in City of Miami, Coconut Grove, you can go into City Hall and vote. So any government entity doing the early voting, you can go and cast your ballot anywhere. Those of you that live in Broward County, you can still go cast your ballot for your candidate anywhere in Broward County, not just one area. For Miami-Dade, anywhere in Miami-Dade, you can go and cast a ballot for your candidate from August the 13th to August the 21st. And then, of course, the day of election, which is August the 23rd, that's the finale. But by the time absentee ballot is closed, early voting is closed, by election day, less than 10% of the people come out and vote. So 90% of the people already decided who they want in office.
So tell the people how they can reach you.
Well, I can definitely be reached at my phone number, 305-796-9077, 305-796-9077. And of course, I have to give you the disclaimer. You call me, if we're not already friends on I Have You Saved, my phone will let you go to a silent mode. But please do leave a message. And one thing I do after you call and I just see the number, I will return your call. I will call you back and say, you call at this amount of time at this time, because right now I'm in the walking mode. I'm walking, knocking on doors, and sometimes different individuals will engage me in a conversation, and I'm not going to be rude to them to answer the phone just because you decided to call me. No, I'm going to hear the concern of my citizens that I'm in front of, and I will look at my phone and simply tell them, can I call you back later? Or I'm in a meeting, because I can customize it, but you will get a response back. So that'd be the best way. That'd be the best way to reach me.
I like your authenticity. Like, you are straightforward, and I believe you when you say you will answer that phone. You do care about your community and the people that are around you. That's one thing that I've learned about you, and that is definitely very honorable. To see someone who actually cares about their community. Oftentimes, we get people that say that they want someone like yourself, that they that they can actually talk to, and that is that's tangible. And then when you get that, they're a little intimidated or scared because they're not used to being able to have, to hear their voices being heard.
Yeah.
So, I would encourage you guys, if you are in the Miami Gardens area, and not because he's our uncle, but because he is, from what I've seen and what I've known of him, just for these past few years that I've known him, he is an upstanding man, a God-fearing man, and will do what he says. He doesn't, what they call it, backbite or double backbite his tongue. So make sure you guys go out and support. And you can always reach him, like he said, at 305-796-9077. Now, I messed around and put your email address here.
That's a problem. That's why they can send the email. But the reason I prefer the phone calls are because I know that my phone's always with me, and emails would be late in the afternoon when sometimes people will email me some stuff. And I'm glad that I have a great wife that will remind me. I believe this person sent you email. I see it still shows unread. So so she good and encouraged me at that. But I know that I love to text. I love to email. Communicate on the phone. So even if I'm in a meeting and I can't talk to the person, I would tell them, text me your concern, and then I promise you, I can text fast. I will text you the concern. Real quick, there's a lady, tomorrow I'm going to court with her. And I went to her house, we was talking, and she was telling me why she was not going to vote, in Miami Garden. And then when she found out that I was in law enforcement, she said, oh, for sure, I'm definitely not going to vote for you. And so right there, I said, why? And that's because I found out that she had got into an accident where she was not at fault. She was turning into her street to come home, right? Less than a block away, her house is 2 houses from the stop sign. Another vehicle ran the stop sign or left the stop sign and was getting ready to make a left turn to go west, and she was coming home. And that individual crossed in front of her vehicle, and they touch. So they have a little scrape on her vehicle. Long story short, that woman called the police, and clearly in the back of her vehicle, she have a PBA sticker, back of her car. Like for mine, I have the FOP sticker. So what does that mean? You are related to some police officer. So she made one phone call. The officer came, instead of citing the person that should get the ticket, she ended up getting the ticket. So I told her, I said, I tell you what, we can beat this. We can. I said, yeah. I said, I'm going to schedule you for trial, and I'm going to go with you. So I scheduled her. That was a couple weeks ago. I scheduled her to go tomorrow at 1:15. So I'm picking her up tomorrow at 12:15, and we're going to go straight down to the location on 14th Street to the courthouse, room 124. And because she got charged with reckless driving. How you going to be reckless driving, no skid mark, no damages, and it clearly shows. I'm glad people have cell phones. I'm glad she took pictures. She took pictures to show where the other person ran the stop sign. The other person was at fault. So again, that's how I believe in helping the community. And I say, don't worry about not voting for me, but let me help you because I'm about helping those that cannot help themselves.
Look at you, Uncle Batman.
Yeah. People they like a person very consistent under person.
Yeah.
It's very rare that you find a man that's consistent and if we want to get to politics, I think it's a great accent, a great attribute to have as a politician. Then your people will believe in you. They won't be scared or worried about, this Mr. Cobbler, he's flawed, or how you want to put it. He's consistent and caring for his community.
Absolutely.
And we live there, we live up.
Yeah. And not because, again, Your family, but no, because you're family too. I mean, let's keep it all the way 100.
Hey,
You have to
hey,
keep it
hey,
100
you know,
with
hey,
us.
if your own family can't vote for you,
Like, yeah, that's a problem.
hey, who?
If
Hey,
your
like,
own-
oh,
if your- if we can lead the people with one thing, Uncle Raymond, if you can leave them with one thing, what would you like to say to the people before we end the show?
the one thing I want to leave with everyone is that I do understand the politicians do lie. They come make promises. And one thing I can assure you that I'm not coming making no promises. All I'm doing is asking you to take a chance on Raymond Carville this coming election year. Look at my record as far as being with my family, pastoring a church successfully, and I'm ready to serve. I'm open-minded. I'm a trustworthy person, and I'm a public servant. All of that, you can Google me, and you will see for yourself that, wow, he's all that. Yes, I'm all of that, and I've never deviated from it. If I can help you, I will go out my way to help you. And if I can give you sound advice, I will do it. But together, let's work together. Let's work together. And it's not just a slogan, but it's a affirmative action that I'm willing to make our city great or greater by us working together.
Absolutely. Now, are you looking for any interns or any boots on the ground? Do you need any assistance? Like, because, you know, you're knocking on doors and things like that.
Well,
So
yes.
sometimes, you know, interns would like to come out and they can reach you at the same address and at the same number and email address, correct?
Right, that's correct. As a matter of fact, today I was in church. There was one young lady that said, you know, that she wanted me to be her mentor. So I said, well, are you available August the 13th to the 21st? You know, it's like,
That's right. We'll put you to work.
It's like, what? I say, yeah, I need volunteers because I don't have the funds to pay people to work the poll like I did in the past. So if you could come and give me 2 hours at the for early voting, you know, and I'll be in the library. The library is a zoo. I will make sure that you go to, you know, they have 2 elderly facilities that do early voting. You have another library at the California Club that's much safer. I would send you to those areas, and the whole concept is you will be wearing my T-shirt. You'll be going throughout the letting people know vote for Raymond Carville because knocking on doors. I'm doing it. I have social media people working for me to make sure that, you know, we reach them through text, through the means. So again, you can volunteer 305-796-9077, whatever hours you can give me. I will not turn you down, and I promise you that while you're there, because it's hot, you will be given refreshment. You'll stay hydrated.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Uncle Raymond, we want to thank you for being an intricate part of the show and always coming on here and just giving us a wealth of knowledge because sometimes, you know, we don't know these things. You know, you have these politicians, like you said, they get on here, they lie, they do all kind of foolishness, but we appreciate you for being so authentic and just sharing your knowledge with us as often as you do. And don't forget, you know you're a fan favorite on the show, so you got to come back.
Oh, for
Even
sure.
Even if you call in, you know they like when you call in. Uncle Raymond always calls in, and he gives he gives some knowledge to the people, especially when we're running real hot. So
hey, I love it, and I want to give a shout out to the wife. She always tuning in, and sometimes she has to remind me because I'll be having so much on my plate. And I'm on the show. So then I will go to the other room and log in. So Henrietta's comment is good to making sure that her hubby, you know, still top of the game.
Yeah, she does. She's always in, and we love her too. Thank you, Aunt Henrietta. We see you. All right. Well, if that is all, if there are no more comments, questions, or concerns, we're going to go ahead and end the show. And remember, guys, you can find us on iHeartRadio. You can find us on what, babe? You can find us on where? Where else? Where else?
Amazon.
There you go. We're just all over. We're on Reddit and everything. And we're on YouTube. Right now we are streaming live from YouTube. You can always call in at 754-303-9976, or you can send us an email to letstalkmarriage1@gmail.com. So that's letstalkmarriage1@gmail.com. And we're on all social platforms. We're on Instagram at you_me4ever. And you can find us on, Facebook. We're on Let's Talk Marriage, or LTM07 on Facebook. Well, if all hearts and minds are clear, Aunt Henrietta says that she loves us. We love you too. We're going to go ahead and end the broadcast right now. And thank you so much for tuning in. Uncle Raymond, hold on.
All right.